Hey guys.
Hey guys.
One of our subscribers asked us today if we were going to review Ash vs. Evil Dead, and yes, we are! That's what this video is! Alright, so it's time for an Ash vs. Evil Dead review. This time we're reviewing the series premiere of Ash vs. Evil Dead. If you haven't seen the episode and you want to avoid any spoilers, you're going to want to skip this video and come back later because everything we say from this point forward going to be a spoiler. How much fun was this episode?
Yeah, this show is going to be super silly.
Yeah.
It was just it's bonkers silly.
Super silly, but super gory and pretty damn scary, actually.
Yeah, tons of jump scares. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
My poor cat probably relocated 6 times during the episode because I jump and scare her and she's like, dang it, stop it, and then move to another location.
Like the episode 4 minutes in, you get a jump scare.
Oh, yeah.
When he's in the bathroom with the lonely lady at the bar.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was probably the biggest one of the evening, I think, of the episode.
Yeah, that one was unexpected. Everything from that point forward you expected, so it wasn't as big of a jump scare.
What's great about Ash vs. Well, all of the Evil Dead movies, really, is it's very obvious when they're about to do a jump scare. Yeah. But they still get you.
Yeah, it's almost worse because you know it's coming and then you jump anyway and you're like, I knew it was coming.
And,
why?
And that's kind of a thing with all scary movies, all of the horror genre. There is that element. I think, though, Sam Raimi in particular does it better. Mm-hmm. Just my opinion. If you disagree, let me know down in the comments. I also really liked that Ash he's very out of shape.
Yeah.
He's using this fictional story of saving a boy from a train. I
got the impression that he does that a lot.
Yeah.
Where I think he's got a different story every time. That's my headcanon is that every time he goes to the bar for the sole purpose of picking up a woman, he's got a different story for his hand.
Yeah. But I love that he's out of shape and he's laying low to keep a low profile so the Deadites can't find him.
Yeah, yeah.
But they do because he gets totally blazed and read out of the unholy book and drew attention to himself. So now they know where he is, and apparently they've been looking for him for a while.
Yeah, and this episode was basically just an introduction of characters and to bring the Deadites back.
Yeah.
So we get all these characters that are eventually going to end up together, and so the officer goes to the house, kills a bunch of people. Well, she kills 2 people in there, the French girl and her partner, and thinks she's crazy because they don't stay Deadites once they're dead. Or she basically blew their heads off, so so it just looks like she went crazy and killed everybody, and her story isn't plausible. So she goes back in the daytime and she sees a part of the shirt up in the chandelier, and she's like, I'm not crazy. That actually happened. Yeah. This absolutely ridiculous thing that they're trying to convince me didn't happen. It happened. So I thought that was really cool. That she didn't just accept that these things were coming after her.
What I really enjoyed is first of all, it seems like that character, whose name I think is Amanda, it seems like she's going to be important.
Yes.
Because her partner is like, we need you to die. And I'm like, all right, so why do the Deadites need her to die? Yeah. And then it seems like Kelly's going to be pretty important because her mother comes back to life after she's been dead for 6 months. Why would this character's mom come back to life? Why are the Deadites kind of focusing on her a little bit? And the mom goes after, Kelly's dad. Yeah. And Kelly, the whole...
Yeah, but what is it? What is it about? Because normally they just infect the people around Ash to get to Ash. But this had nothing to do with Ash.
And by the end of the episode, Ash has owned who he is, and Pablo gave him kind of a pep talk.
Yeah, kind of.
Talking about you might be basically the chosen one to combat this evil, and Ash kind of owns that. He rips his shirt off, and he's got his blue button down.
Yeah, I love that. He accepts himself in the most ridiculous fashion ever, where like he's wearing the original outfit, all he has to do is just rip off the outer shirt, he's got everything right there, he puts it all on, and then, you know, saves the day by flying through the trailer and putting his chainsaw on. Like, it was the most ridiculous thing ever, and it was awesome.
It was really good. The last thing I want to talk about is the practical blood effects. Bruce Campbell did an interview here in the last couple of days talking about how they did the vast majority of the blood effects are actual practical effects.
Yeah,
you know,
it's actually something spurting out.
Pumps and actual liquid, you know, corn syrup or whatever it is they used, rather than do CG blood. And it comes across really well in the episode. And just because you can't really, you know, predict where the spurts are going to be, and it's just awesome looking on film.
Yeah, and it's nice because, like, you never really know who's going to be covered, and it's kind of almost a horror cliche that the person doing all the killing gets covered in blood, and you know sometimes they don't.
Yeah, which actually Bruce mentioned in the interview. There was one shot where like where blood sprayed everywhere, and everybody but Ash, everybody but Bruce Campbell got soaked. Like the crew, the other cast members, and he was bone dry.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's awesome. I'm keeping my eye out for that scene.
But like stuff like that is really cool because it's like I said, it's a Hollywood or a horror cliche that the person doing the killing gets completely drenched in blood, and that's not always what happens.
Yeah.
I also like the there's kind of a few here and there over the top ridiculousness, like when she pulls out her teeny tiny ankle holster gun and it blows the Deadite's like whole head and part of the upper body just explodes all over the place. And I was like, yes, because typically it's opposite. Like they get this big old gun that's totally impractical.
And she's got like a little pea
she's got
shooter.
This little gun like that big, and she's like, bam.
I don't know what caliber that gun is. I'm not familiar with firearms, but it's it looks like probably a 38 or something like that. Not something that's gonna blow half a.
I mean, even a 9mm is not gonna like. There's I don't think there's even a handgun out there that would do that. Like that was like a shotgun at close range.
All right, I think that's everything we have. Right?
I think so.
All right, if you think we missed anything talking about this episode, let us know down in the comments and we can discuss it down there. Also, if you enjoyed this review, please let us know by clicking the like button and subscribe for more reviews.
And thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.